everybody. Today we are going to I'm going to show my sister on how to make meatballs. So, first off, it's an Italian dish. So, cooking with wine. Gonna pour yourself a glass. I'm gonna list off the ingredients very quickly. Put this over here. And you're gonna need 1 garlic clove, 1 pound of ground beef, Parmesan grated cheese, salt, any salt you choose, oregano, I use dried, you can use fresh, basil, parsley, onion, I'm using red onion, and a little bit of black pepper and a drizzle of olive oil. So first I'm going to do is mince my garlic clove. And then I will chop the onion to go inside the meatball. I feel like adding flavors is really going to enhance the texture and the depth of your flavor profile. Meatballs are originally, actually, it's theorized that they were started in Persia, not Italy, but they spread all around the world. It's amazing how much food is actually influenced through so many different cultures. Cheers. Now, I always keep a recipe nearby because a lot of times I have to stop a moment and take care of whatever's going on around the house. Whether it's help the children, my husband, the animals, one like that. So I want to make sure that I have some sort of checklist to look at and know that I got it all. And I can do that by having my ingredients laid out in front of me first, so that when I go to do my checklist, I have it all right there. So when you're putting the recipe together, I would keep the ingredients out until you're done or you're about to start cooking it, so that you can look at your checklist and know that you used all the ingredients that you're supposed to, because that'll help you when you're first starting to get your cooking rhythm. This is a good idea. All right, so because I'm just adding it to the ground beef, or I really recommend ground beef. If you want to use ground turkey, I highly encourage you to add some sausage or add some beef to it, just because you need some fat in there to make it not too dry. Anytime I've done a turkey meatball, if it didn't have sausage, it just wasn't really edible. So I'm going to add that garlic clove I chopped right into the ground beef, and onion. Okay, so for my Mexican sister, we want to keep this side together. If we chop off a side, it's this side, okay? So I'm going to chop it. Learn that from Bobby Flay. And then chop in half so I can slice it easier. I'm going to remove 1/2 so my cutting board's not too crowded. Now you peel the top couple layers off. Maybe. There we go. Gotta get that lip under there. And then make sure none of your skin is going on your cutting board, because it does not taste good. That's why we take it off, right? So we want to make sure any layer that's too papery thin and dry like that comes right off. Mainly it's just the top layer, okay? And you're going to for the red onion, you're going to do 2 tablespoons. For this, I am going to do that scoring of the bottom, through the middle, up, to help get some nice small slices. Now I haven't gotten my tablespoon measurement out yet, so I'll do that for you. Because I know how important it is when you're just getting your cooking skills and rhythm to have those directions and those measurements. All right, going up and down to get even those smaller pieces going on. And now you're just gonna do a nice thin slice. And this series, this YouTube channel posting, is all to help my sister get some cooking skills, because she's been talking about it for, what, 10 years now? And talking about what a good cook I am and how she needs to learn from me. And so I was like, you know what? Here's a way I can help you. Because a lot of times when I'm there, I just want to cook for her to take care of her. Because as a mother, we don't get cooked for very often. Ooh. Your eyes may get a little watery. From the onion. Now, as you get more comfortable with cooking, you can look up recipes and maybe do different types of meatballs. Meatballs don't necessarily have to be served with spaghetti. These type of meatballs have more of an Italian flavor, and so I would recommend a marinara sauce with them, which I'm not very creative yet with my marinara sauce. I usually just buy a bottle of it because I haven't made some that were better than that. Honestly, yet. Once I do come up with some, I will let you know. Okay, so that was about 2 slices of that small, well, medium-sized onion to get 2 tablespoons of red onion in there. If you prefer white onion, that is perfectly fine. All right, so the chopping part is almost out of the way. I'm going to use fresh parsley this time because, honestly, I love fresh parsley. It is so good to me. I can just eat it raw. If you don't have fresh parsley, you can use 1/4 teaspoon of dried parsley. Fresh parsley, you can use more because more of it will taste so good. Okay. So I just grabbed a small bunch. That is actually about a tablespoonful, not too packed. And now I'm going to do half a teaspoon of oregano. I love oregano, but I think it's important not to overpower a dish as I've been cooking for my family. I know not to add too much oregano to anything because it's just too strong of a flavor for them. But half a teaspoon of oregano and a pound of ground beef is pretty perfect. And there's also oregano in the sauce and things like that. So we're going to do 1/4 teaspoon of dried basil. And if you wanted to do fresh basil, of course you can. I don't have that measurement off the top of my head for you. I don't use breadcrumbs because I have a gluten sensitivity. And I don't like the texture of bread in the beef. To be honest with you, I don't like it in hamburgers. I don't like it in meatloaf. It's not my favorite. Don't worry, Cordelia. Everything's fine. So I'm going to do 1½ teaspoons of Parmesan cheese. And that gives mine a bit of flavor. And also, honestly, like, you can never have too much cheese in things, right? Because it's delicious. So that was 1 teaspoon, and here's my ½ teaspoon of Parmesan cheese. And then, so now I know I did my oregano, my Parmesan. I have not done my ground pepper. My ground pepper, again, I'm not using a lot of pepper because we are cooking for children and you don't want it to overtake your dish. I'm going to do 1/8 teaspoon of ground pepper. So it's really just a dash of pepper, but I know that my sister does not like that type of direction in her recipes. So 1/8 teaspoon. And for salt, you're going to do ½ teaspoon of salt. I read somewhere that the biggest thing that a certain chef learned while they were going to school was that you needed to season your recipe with salt before and after, and sometimes during, to ensure that you got enough flavor, because otherwise you didn't get any spice in your food. I'm going to move this cutting board. And right now, it's just a bowl full of the ingredients, right? So it's not anything complicated. I love, 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 love the taste of olive oil. So I'm going to do a little drizzle on it because really, it's just delicious and it will help hold the meat together. So by drizzle, I just mean a dash. Not too much, not too little, just, I know that will be a little difficult. If you want to do a teaspoon of olive oil, you can, to help give you a measurement. And now I have my rings off, so I'm just going to mix this with my hands and get it all together. So you'll be able to see it kind of come together and mix all around. So anywhere between like 1 to 2 or 3 minutes max. And for anybody watching this channel, if you wanted to post a link to your favorite recipe of meatballs, no matter what style below, I would love to try it. And maybe I'll even do a tape of it to teach my sister on how to cook them. All right. So it doesn't take too long, really, to mix it all together because we didn't add a huge amount and we're not making a huge amount. 1 pound should really feed your family of 4 or so. At least it does mine. If you want to double the recipe, double it. And if you need help during those measurements, let me know. For my sister, not a bunch of random people. All right, so let's see. Okay, it really looks like it's all mixing together. Right now, if you wanted to pause and go preheat your oven to 325 while you're rolling the balls, it should give it enough time to preheat. In my opinion, this size, it's about an inch or a half inch is a perfect meatball. I'm going to serve it with some spaghetti squash for me and some spaghetti for the kids, also with a starter salad, because I've been able to get my whole family to start on that. Let me show you what type of dish I recommend you using to cook this in. A little wash in my hands, and I'm going to get this out. Or break my kitchen, however it sounds. I have my dishes layered. So I recommend a dish this size. I'm going to put olive oil in the bottom of this to help coat it. And then I'm going to pop it in the oven for about... I'm going to cover it with foil. After you put all your meatballs in here, I'm going to cover it with foil and then pop it in the oven for about 30 minutes. The foil helps seal it in and really give it that tender, non-dry meatball flavor. So it's going to help the flavors in the meatball to really seal into each part of it, instead of just being like, oh, I taste garlic all of a sudden, or I taste onion all of a sudden. So again, in my opinion, never enough olive oil. I just put a little drizzle in the pan and I spread it around with my fingers. I'm going to put that meatball in, the other meatball, and that's it. It's pretty simple, nice dish. Yeah, it has a homemade flavor and taste to it. with also some easy shortcuts. Like you can make your own sauce or you can use a bottle of sauce. And spaghetti, that's another lesson if you need help with cooking that. All right, as always, I love you and happy cooking. Remember to stay positive, grab a glass of wine, and enjoy it. Pause it if you need to, take care of the kids, and come back. You always have enough time to make a healthy meal. Have a great day.